Any questions in regards of finding a video within Edpuzzle to utilize as an assessment or targeted instruction? The next part is that we're going to discuss is our targeted instructions. How can you utilize Edpuzzle to find standard aligned videos? You can utilize data analytics, station rotation, flipped classroom, choice boards, and virtual field trips. Our library of high quality video lessons are created by our experts, team of expert teachers. You can find the standard alignment 2 different ways. One, I have them in our presentation on slide number 20. The second way that you can find our Edpuzzle originals is by going to edpuzzle.com/originals. It is pinned right now in your chat, and it will take you to this page. How do Edpuzzle originals align to my school standards? You can look at English language arts. You can look at Common Core Math, and all of this would take you to Airtables that shows the topic, Edpuzzle title, the standard, and the link. So you can utilize all of our resources from our Edpuzzle originals. They're all standard aligned. In order to do that, you would go to edpuzzle.com/originals. You would click on the state, and then you would click on the subject area that you teach. That will bring you directly to our standards aligned videos, and you'll be able to see them right there. Any questions? You can monitor students' progress with hassle-free grading and easy-to-read analytics. You can utilize automatic grading. Edpuzzle will grade automatically for multiple choice, and now we have open-ended too with Teacher Assist. Color-coded data dashboards, as I showed you, your red students, your green students, you can view the results by question or by individual, and grades automatically sync within most LMSs. Again, when you integrate with your Google Classroom and students turn in the assignment, you're going to be able to see the progress of your students right here. You can look by question. So that gives you an understanding if all of your students missed question number 2, that gives you an understanding of, okay, I probably need to focus more on that. It doesn't have to do with the student's missing skill. It has to do with the way I explained it. And it also allows you to use this information to spot misconceptions and plan small group instruction. I always tell teachers in my trainings, Edpuzzle will do the grouping for you. This is completely done for you, so you can identify which students need what support. Right here, I have a 62% on, do I need to cover this? Probably not, but I'm looking at these students, and this is where I need to focus on. When I look at the data report, I can look right here, sorted by grade. Look at by student, and I can identify exactly their missing skill. 4 more ways to target instructions. You can use Edpuzzle in flipped classroom. You can use Edpuzzle for station rotation, choice board, and virtual field trips. Now go ahead and find a video, and I know it's a little bit different, but go ahead and find a video for the next 5 minutes that you can use for your targeted instructions, and go ahead and copy that video. We have a couple more minutes. Can you please let me know in the chat after you found the video? Let me know what you found. Anyone wants to share anything that they found that they can use? Electricity in the Edpuzzle Originals tab. That's awesome. Anyone else? Creating a bucket list. That's awesome, Ingrid. Back to school. We have a lot of back to school videos for sure. Allegory versus metaphor. And I know, Kathleen, we have a lot of our Edpuzzle originals in regards to grammar under ELA. Traditional flipped classroom, you can use Edpuzzle to replace direct instruction. You can use Edpuzzle to assess pre-knowledge. You can look at learning targets introduced outside of class, and you can free up class time for hands-on activities. One thing that I absolutely enjoyed when I was in the classroom was I would have a station where my students were doing an Edpuzzle video. I was teaching a small group instruction, and then I would have a hands-on learning. In regards to the flipped classroom, I would assign an Edpuzzle prior to teaching it, so students would watch it at home or they would watch it prior to class. They would come to class and they already had a basic understanding. So then when I was doing part of my I2, students were already in an advance. So that is when it will, that knowledge that I was sharing with them, the lesson that I was sharing would solidify in their memory. How it works, content is introduced prior to class. Students apply concept during class. So for example, at home in a 4th grade math class, when my objective is to teach the area. At home, I would send the students with a video to complete a video lesson, an area of a rectangle. In class, students and the teacher would use physical manipulatives to create a whole from fractions. And then in class, students can create their own Google Pixel art using Google Sheets. For station rotations, you can utilize it to reinforce a concept or skill, provide targeted additional practice, spiral in a review from past lessons, and allow individual students can be assigned from different LMS. What does that look like in station rotation? Again, I explained that a little bit, but students right here doing a hands-on activity, right here, doing a hands-on activity, students completing a Edpuzzle video, and then right here, small group instructions. Station rotation, students complete a video lesson at the beginning, in class flip. Data from the video lesson can be used to inform grouping, and then remaining class you'd utilize as a teacher for processing and new learning targets. I discussed this during my differentiation training too. You can also allow students to assign a choice board. You can give them a voice on what is the way that they want to learn. Students are giving choices and voice on how they learn, practice, and demonstrate the skill. You can use Edpuzzle to introduce a concept. You can provide guided practice, and you can assess and give feedback. Right here, I have some examples of choice boards, this or that. You can listen to this, or you can utilize a one-pager. These are some examples of different Edpuzzlers that they have. They've used choice boards, but this way you allow the students to really take on the learning and become responsible for their own learning and the way that they learn. Virtual field trips, you can bring the world to your classroom with a virtual field trip. Students would use Edpuzzle to show a video to the class without pop-ups, advertisement, or suggested videos getting in the way, and that is because of our exclusive YouTube partnership. Field trips with Edpuzzle, YouTube guided tours, 360 videos or tutorials. You can check out here. I have some examples of 360 National Geographic virtual field trips. Again, a plethora of videos that you can transform those videos by editing them and allowing students to really learn outside of the traditional classroom. These are some different ways that you can go ahead in each subject area where you can utilize those virtual field trips. So for social studies, you can take a trip to the state capitol, witness signing of the Declaration of Independence. For science, you can visit a paleontologist at a dig site, travel to a rainforest, art, English, math. So all of these, all of subject areas, you can think of different ways that you can allow Edpuzzle virtual field trips. All these examples are shared with you in the presentation, so please just take advantage and search in our search engine and you would be able to find. What are some universal design learning tools that you can utilize and increase engagement with Edpuzzle? I talked about choice boards. You can allow students to choose their own path. You can allow them a choice of video. How do you reach all learners? In Edpuzzle, and I'm gonna go right now as I'm gonna edit a video. You can include images, emojis, and GIFs into your questions and notes. You can signal important information in the video, read aloud questions, allow your responses, and you can provide a choice menu board. Let me go here in Edpuzzle So I talk a little bit more of what I am referring to. I'm going to go under my content and let's take this video that I brought. I'm going to edit. Now I'm going to cut this video if it is too long for my students, but let's go to the questions. First, I'm going to allow Edpuzzle to give me a head start on providing more questions. The second part is I can add multiple choice questions. I can add images in my questions. I can add links, math equations. Now, for my students that are struggling readers, ELL students, I can also provide audio questions. So right here, I can ask, what is a decimal? Right here, I can provide the answers in audio, or I can provide answers in writing, A, B. So for students that are struggling with reading and we are not assessing their reading or writing, I can allow them to listen to my questions and answers as they are answering. I can also provide images. So if I am looking for images, I can use a URL or I can upload my own image. Any questions on how to bring those universal design learning tools into your classroom with an Edpuzzle? Providing multiple... Yeah, go ahead, Jose.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you because I missed the link to the 3D videos. Can you share that with me, please? Because I don't find on the slides.
Let me see here. Let me go here. Share this tab.
Yeah, that one.
Okay, I'm going to put it in the chat and I'm going to pin it.
Thank you.
Yeah, and this is a search result of 360 National Geographic. Thank you so much. And you can find all the videos where you'd be able to take your students in a field trip. Allowing multiple means of actions and expressions so your students can show you what they know. You can allow Edpuzzle's multiple attempts feature. You can have from 1 to 5 or unlimited. You don't have to provide due dates. If the goal is for students to show what they know, you don't necessarily need to provide due dates. However, if you want to, you can. You can allow student projects or self-paced learning. So in the assignment that I just brought in from Edpuzzle, right here, I edited. How can I assign it? Utilizing all of these means of expression. I can go right here. I'm going to finish this video and I can assign it. I can go to my class, Google Classroom. Right here, it gives you the due date. It is optional, so you don't have to. However, if you want to, of course, you can go ahead and put it in there. Prevent skipping. How many attempts? How many trials? I always talk about this with my special education teachers. When I think of attempts, I always think of trials. How many trials do I want the students to complete this video? So I'm going to give 3. Accessibility, I can allow students to watch the videos at a specific speed, turn on closed captions, and select with my LMS. So right here, I can go and assign my video in my Google Classroom. Any questions in regards to assigning the videos?
I have a question, please.
Yeah.
I give due dates because I wanted to upload to the grade book, but even though there's a due date, the students will complete the Edpuzzle a month or 2 later, and it will grade it and it will upload the grade. Is there a way to make it so the Edpuzzle can't be finished past a certain time?
That's a really good question, and I've had more educators bring this to us. Currently, we do not. Currently, we don't have a way that the Edpuzzle will disappear from the classroom if it is not completed during the assigned due date. That's something I have brought back to our product team. I'm not sure where they are with it. However, I'm more than happy to follow up with them and let you know, Patricia.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course. That's a really good question. Videos can be used anywhere, and Edpuzzle enables us to hold students accountable. Audio responses, I know I talked about this, answer with audio. Very, very, very important for those students that struggle with writing. Instead of having them type the answers, they can respond with audio. Same with teacher review response and given a score. Edpuzzle, you can use Edpuzzle as your direct instruction. You can use our screen recorder. We have a screen recorder within Edpuzzle right here. I'm going to go right here on my Discover page. It says Add New, Record a Video. You can record a tab, desktop, or camera only. Your video will be uploaded within Edpuzzle, and you can use that video to add notes and questions. So if you want your students to learn on their own time, you can record your video with your I do portion, embed 4 or 5 questions and notes, and that is your time that your students can watch the video on their own time. Recording resources, you can record it as a video recreation of an event. Again, different ways to use notes. I always talk about notes in a video, what you do in a traditional classroom when you rotate around the class. So for example, in a traditional classroom, you always go around and say, all right, class, let's review again. What is a decimal? What are decimals? That's what you can do with notes in Edpuzzle. So you can always add a note to bring that focus back to the objective. You can make multiple choice questions fun. So right here, you can add images for multiple choice. You can add depth and complexity within your questions. And you can use Edpuzzle for virtual field trips, back to school night information for parents who can't make it. You can make pre-made sub-lesson plans, a video or a podcast using Socratic sourcing materials, make up work for absent students. So you can use it in different ways. Again, I spoke about audio responses. We have an Edpuzzle blog that we have more resources, and you can assign a video to students that go over study skills or start your own lessons. You can utilize Edpuzzle for social emotional learning. There are a lot of team building activities, but you can also show video lessons that practice skills such as self-regulations. You can do it in the beginning of the day, during indoor recess, during read-alouds. For students with accommodations, Edpuzzle lessons are self-paced, that's a very standard accommodations. You can enable closed captioning. You can allow students to replay section of the video. That's multiple. You can have the lesson presented in different modes, multimodal means of the lesson, and ADA compliance. As an exit ticket, right here, I have a Padlet for you where it shows you how you can use Edpuzzle in the classroom. I am going to go ahead and put the link of the Padlet, and I'm going to give you some time to explore the Padlet. We're going to give this 5 minutes. Oopsie, right here. Let me put the Padlet in the chat. All right, I'm going to pin it, and I want you to take this time to look over at the Padlet, look over the materials that are shared, or find an Edpuzzle original that you can use for the next when the students come back. Go ahead, take the next 5 minutes to exploring and asking any questions. As you are exploring, please ask any questions. How do you see this fit in your classroom? What are different ways that I can support you? We have 4 more minutes on this, 3 more minutes on this. Sorry about that. Yeah, go ahead, Jose.
Yeah, I was looking at the station rotations teaching strategy.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'm wondering how do you decide as a teacher where should a group of students start? In which station should a group of students start in this type of activity? What is the best practice for them?
That's a really good question. I would say that I would probably start based on the needs of my students. So I would identify what the needs of my students are, and then I would go from there on identifying on my small groups and identifying what I need to teach and how I need to teach it.
I see. So it has to start with the pre-assessment. I forgot about that. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, of course. Great question. All right. I am going to go ahead and talk to you a little bit if you don't have any other questions about best video practices. If your research shows that if you show a video to your students without interacting, just passively watching a video, it does have very limited, that is stored in your sensory memory. It has limited capacity. So students can watch a video, a 5-10 minutes video, but they're retaining very limited information because that is only in their sensory memory. If students are processing and making connections, that information is stored in their working memory. That information is when students are taking the information that they're learning from that video and storing it in their working memory. And that is the ultimate goal, stored in the long-term memory. Right here, couple things to keep in mind is for best video practices is cut out anything off topic or just for entertainment. Keep the video less than 10 minutes. I always say 30 minutes video, students are not going to retain and engage with that video. Keep it short. Allow them to watch in that video what your goal, what your objective of the lesson. If you were in a traditional classroom, that's an example that I always bring. Are you in your block, are you doing a full hour of I do? Probably not. You are focusing on what you want them to do, then you let them practice, you practice together, and then they show you what they know. Same with video. Keep that video short. Let students know what they want to focus. Use those questions and notes to really focus on information. So for example, if I want my students to focus on decimals, I'm truly going to put a lot of notes throughout my video in regards to decimals and questions. Break up the video whenever students should stop, think, and process, and allow them to create something that they just learned. Right here, I have some resources for you, getting started with Edpuzzle, Help Center, Customer Support. How can you create your own video lesson, our Edpuzzle originals, as well as our Chrome extension? I am going to ask you to provide feedback on this link. This just helps me improve my practices. I'm going to pin it in the chat, and I'm going to leave the next 7 minutes to complete the feedback form and to ask any questions you have. I know a lot of you are still on summer break. As you go back to your classes and your students next month, please, please feel free to reach out. This is my email, brunel.edpuzzle.com. This will give me the opportunity to truly support you and help you with any questions you might have on implementing Edpuzzle.